Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Rod of Seven Parts, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons game where I, Jordan, with a silent PH in the middle, run a ridiculous game of fun and excitement and mystery and intrigue and suspense and Jedis. We have a lot of fun here. We play really awesome games. Our party has leveled up. It's super exciting. And speaking of parties, let's go around and meet our wonderful, wonderful players. We'll start with LB Hackabup. Who are you playing? What's going on?
Hi, I'm LB Hackamup. I'm playing Siren, the tiefling rogue.
Oh, that's excellent. And Brenna, who are you playing in this wonderful game?
Hi, I'm Brenna. I'm playing Rakiri, the celestial Aarakocra warlock.
And Lex, what's going on, sir? Who are you
I'm playing Shifter, the illusionist wizard.
Fantastic. And last but not least, our host for the game, Mr. Ted, over from Nerd Immersion. Who are you playing? What's going on? How's the channel? Pretty good. Streaming okay? Top notch? Bits? No drop frames?
No, zero dropped frames. 0.0% on the dropped frames. I'm Ted, and I'll be playing Lagwin, a Blade Singer wizard. And thank you for the hosts, everybody who's part of the party right now. Anyway, we're good to go.
Oh, that's awesome. So, previously on a very special Rod of Seven Parts, our heroes said adios to a giant's wedding that was infested with spider fiends. Lagwin drank a potion of giant size and haste ran out of there with Shifter and our good friend Siren. And they ran so fast and so big with his giant stride legs. Rakiri decided to stay behind, and she healed the mortal wound suffered by the mother of the bride. With the chaos receding, she bid farewell to them, said goodbye, and they all gathered together and they made their way to Baldur's Gate. The dwarf cleric of Gond there apparently has been summoning Modrons using the Ori, and as he's learning to figure out how this Ori works, he's getting in touch with the other planes of existence, and he's pulling creatures from those planes here. It seems like Mechanus, where the Modrons come from, is the easiest for him personally to pull. He is going to investigate and study the Ori some more with the help of some mages that were sent by Shifter's organization in of the Cowled Wizards. Meanwhile, while that is going on, they decided to travel to Candlekeep, and after obtaining entrance, they met Kadij, who is the Vadi friend in disguise. He offered to help them and answered some questions. We kind of talked about the Queen of Chaos a little bit and the rod fragments and things like that, but he really, and there was a prophecy involving Lagwin.
That was weird.
And I think you're all good for a good night's rest if you want. So I don't know if you guys have slept, but you can get a good night's rest and we can start the day fresh and see what you want to do.
Yep, definitely already took a long rest at the end of last session, so
Yes.
you said that.
Yep, same here.
Rakiri, while you're sleeping, you have a dream. You hear a voice. It is completely black. You're not sure what's going on, but you hear your patron's voice. I forgot your patron's name. Kieranor. So you hear Kierannor's voice, and it's almost like a commanding whisper, but he says, "What you seek is not alone. 2 companions sheathed in stone. To a veil of fear and delusion you must ride, where spirits not of the dead abide." And then just as you hear that final word, the sun peeks into the morning and shines on your face. And was it a dream? Or did you hear a voice? Are you still dreaming?
Is anyone else awake?
I don't know. Do you guys have separate rooms? I guess
We had 2 rooms. We got 2 rooms left.
Okay. So yeah, who are you bunking with? I'll let Rakiri decide.
Siren?
Okay.
Roomies? Yeah, is Siren awake?
Probably not. She's like
Okay.
on her side. Her hair is like stuck up in her horns. She's like got the blankets mostly pulled off, but like still on one foot.
Okay, so I will I'm not gonna wake Siren, but she's definitely like, I have heard you. and I will do what you command. I promise. And I cannot wait to relay that message, which I've definitely memorized, to the rest of the party.
I put it in our Discord, so you can all read it if you want.
Thank you.
If she's talking, Siren's gonna wake up because she's used to night attacks and stuff. What is it? What happened? Are we under attack? She falls off the bed.
No, please, it's all right. I just had a dream. Go back to bed.
What was the dream about? Were the snakes? There were snakes in my dream.
No, it was a glorious dream. Kieran came to me.
I'm sorry.
You are right.
No, if you're going to have dreams like that, I don't need to know about it. It's whatever you do between you and your patron is fine, even in your dreams, as long as you're both consenting.
You.
What?
Kieran is a being of unimaginable grace and purity.
I mean, yeah, I saw him. He's pretty handsome.
It's not about handsomeness. It's about goodness.
Sure it is.
Anyway, shall we rouse the others?
I guess. I'll go see if breakfast is being made.
And the Avowed, who are the monks of Candlekeep, they do come by and tell you that there is a delicious breakfast buffet, a smorgasbord, if you will, if you want to come and gather some food while you are staying here. Gentlemen, I assume you wake up as well. Dream free, you're just, casual dreams, like you and Gandalf fighting off Balrogs and you're having a great time, but nothing out of the ordinary. And
we have pretty badass dreams.
Khadij does come up to you guys and he kind of is having breakfast with you and discussing the day. He's like, so what do you want to get? How can I help you the furthest? The chosen. I mean, you're out to take out the Queen of Chaos and save the world and all that, and the planes and save it from chaotic evil demons. And how can I help you?
Is there coffee?
Yes. And then his ear is right, or his mouth is pointed right at your ear because he's shouting behind you, and he's like 4 coffees, and it's just super loud and fun.
I should point out that I don't know where it happened, Rakiri, but you do have a trinket.
Ooh.
Under your pillow.
It is a
maybe I awaken and there's one under.
Well, maybe it's a pristine green apple that never seems to rot, but when bitten into, tastes strangely like pumpkin pie.
I'll keep that one in my back pocket.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. Oh, and I got one too, which is red sealing wax that alerts the sealer when it's been broken.
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
Could be. It could
definitely. Question about my apple. If you bite into it, does it still not rot? Could you take one bite one day and then come back a couple weeks later for another bite?
That's not for me to answer.
Yes, that's exactly how it works.
Okay, but if you finish the apple, then it's gone.
And if you plant it, it doesn't grow a tree, but it does grow a little twig blight, who also tastes like apple or pumpkin. So
what a wild trinket.
That's kind of fucked up.
Amazing.
I love it. So what did we need to learn while we were here? Oh, well, we know we have to find a hair of a Kieran and a Rakshasa that needs to be willingly given to us to be able to combine these rod pieces along with a substantial amount of gold.
Yeah, pointing us in the direction of any of these items could be most helpful. Also, this fruit cup is almost entirely honeydew melon, and I won't stand for it.
I will.
Shifter just starts spooning the extra honeydew melon pieces onto your plate. Ugh, horrible.
Delightful. Speaking of delightful, I have the most tremendous news.
Yes.
Did you say another lie? Did I miss it?
No, that's over for me. Last night, Kieran visited me in my dreams and imparted marvelous wisdom unto me. Would you like to hear it?
Would you like to tell us?
Is it
Yes.
appropriate for breakfast conversation?
Quite, yes. Kieran said, "What you seek is not alone. 2 companions sheathed in stone. To a vale of fear and delusion you must ride, where spirits not of the dead abide."
Well,
Mysterious.
truly wondrous news.
Isn't it?
Do they usually speak in riddles?
No, actually, it's a bit odd for them.
How do you
But
know
it
it was
must
them
have-
then?
Oh, I would know their voice anywhere. It sounds like a chorus of locusts flying through chimes.
It is oddly specific. Well, do you know of
Does
anyone?
anyone know what the 2 beings of stone could mean?
Statues.
Or petrified
that is
beings?
one possibility.
Yes. Do we know of any beings or creatures that have been petrified or carved into stone that are a pair? Like, are the 2 beings a pair, or is it just 2 stone? Or is it even people? Could be 2 mountains next to each other.
Hmm.
True.
Well, was
Could I
spirits?
is there
Yeah.
some kind of like knowledge check that I can make here, Jordan?
For knowing interpreting what it is.
Yeah, like if I can identify anything of the riddle.
No, it's not really
Okay.
a riddle. Well,
Okay.
it is, but it's not something that I want to just give
Yeah.
away like that. So
Okay.
Perhaps we should look at a map.
Well, it says to a veil of fear and delusion you must ride. Which, I mean, a veil that sounds like a physical location, but where spirits not of the dead abide.
Perhaps it's a bar.
Oh, it could be that kind of a spirit, yes. But I feel like when you have spirits and dead in the same sentence, it's not. I mean, maybe it's a really rager of a party. I don't understand. I don't know. Perhaps.
Well,
Well, let's start at the beginning. What we're currently seeking is the Kieran and the Rakshasa. Perhaps it could be referring to them.
Well, unless it doesn't mean that specifically, it means what you personally are seeking. If this did come from your patron who sent you on a mission to find a specific item, could that not be what this is in reference to?
It certainly could be, although I know Kieran does approve of our current quest.
Well,
could it be the feather? It could be the rod. It could be the Rakshasa things.
coffee's here, and the guy comes down and gives you all this coffee. And he hands out a bunch of stuff, and Khadij is like looking at you guys. He's like, why are you arguing over such a small piece of information? We have all of this info here. What do you need?
Well,
I've told you you need the brush of a fur to paint the glyphs on the runes. That's what I was looking for. To paint the runes onto the rod of 7 parts, and then you do the incantation and make the special inks and all that stuff, and it should be fairly simple. You guys have to go out and get this from yes.
Do we know where Rakshasa is?
Oh, I'm sure we could look one up. They're probably cataloged here somewhere.
Well, then why don't we do that? And by we, I mean you. I'm just finishing my eggs. No.
Yeah, and he'll bugger off and go looking up stuff.
Well, we could always again look up more of these. Anything about Kieran or Rakshasa to see if we can find where one is. I'm still not entirely. I feel like we may have an easier time convincing a Kieran to willingly part with a hair, but I don't know. I feel like a Rakshasa that's going to be more of making a deal scenario.
I agree.
I don't know if you know this. Shifter is great at deals.
Oh, so good. I mean, better than Lagwin anyway.
I mean, I'd rather not deal with creatures that are largely immune to magic, so by all means, have at it.
Perhaps we can also research what this veil could be. Perhaps there is some place that is known of a place of fear and delusion.
Yes, I mean, that is entirely possible. Okay, I mean, we do have a map, right? Can we look up if there's anything that's like things that are labeled veil on the map?
The veil of fear and delusion.
Yeah, so you do have a map.
Yes, and you
guys
sent us the
spend
map.
I don't know, you guys spend some time with it and looking it up. There's not there probably is a bunch of places called veil.
I'm sure there is.
And I'm sure there is. Like, now that I was like, there's not. No, Jordan, you're gonna get comments. But a place that no one goes, that you guys specifically have to go to, would be the Onorock Desert. Like, that's very isolated, and although it has been mapped, there's one road that goes through it, and people very rarely take it because of how spooky and magical and crazy it is.
Okay.
That was the direction that our rod was pulling us, if my reading of this map is correct. So we may want to be heading there anyway.
So far.
It's going to be awfully dry. I'm going to need to stock up on moisturizer. Siren, don't let me forget.
Of course. Is there any sort of transportation magic here that could help us get there faster?
Teleportation Circle, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Someplace close.
Well, there's not a
Do
whole
we know
lot.
how far it is?
Probably at least a month's travel.
It's, I would guess, based on our map, somewhere in the range of, from our current location, around 2,000 miles at least.
Whew.
As the crow flies.
Correct. Yes, which
Or
is
the crane.
Or the crane.
yes, indeed, and that's just to the outskirts of the desert, not to the center, probably where. I'm assuming any place we need to go is not going to be like right on the edge. Really get in there to find what we're looking for. There's not too much either around, from what I can tell, at least from the map that we have. Like large civilizations around the outside that we might be able to find a transportation to get to make ourselves get significantly closer, not like right on the border.
You know that the City of Shade is there because it's on the map that I have here.
Okay.
But there's not a lot of information about that. Hypothetically, there's like if you find a teleportation circle, you could easily teleport to Waterdeep, and then it's just like a road straight over there. You were thinking that it was taking you in the well, I guess you don't really know, but yeah, it was from where you guys originally were. It was pointing straight north, and now that you're at Candlekeep, it's pointing. Where's Candlekeep? Candlekeep's right there. It's pointing north east.
Okay.
So it could be this like bottom section of the desert.
Okay.
Where it says the sword and stuff on this older map that I have.
Okay.
Perhaps perhaps we could go to, I'm looking at the map, Najara. I don't know anything about that area. We could figure something out. There are cities around. I mean, we were kind of just there. I mean, close to there, which is frustrating, but, you know, knowledge.
Well, I mean, we do have significantly more days here to find as much information as we're able to gather while we're here, so we might as well take use of that. Is there anything else? Well, he's going to look up Rakshasas. We can try and look up this, as we said, this more about the Onorock Desert and see if we can't find any specific locations that are mentioned in there that might lead to, or at least parallel this this message you received in your dream, Rakiri.
Yes, it's worth a try.
I mean, is there anything else?
Perhaps, Kieran as well.
Yes. Is there anything we need to look up additionally beyond just this? We have several days to do this, so.
Do we? How long? I mean, I know that we can stay here for that long, but we don't know how far ahead our enemies are.
I mean, when do we ever know that?
I suppose, but it's better to plan ahead than to assume that you can rest on your laurels.
Yes, we've gotten lucky so far. I mean, they had already found the last rod fragment. They just weren't very successful, or not as successful as us, in taking it from the giantess.
Hmm.
Well then, shall we split up, study party?
I mean, yes, I guess that would make the most sense.
Which wizard do you want?
And yeah, we can do kind of a montage thing. You guys can stay here a max of 10 days. You can do a lot in a little amount of time with a montage. And this is more open. I'm not going to do a lot of rolls, but like, what do you as a group want to get out of Candlekeep? Because there is a lot of information. If you want to copy information, it's about 50 gold pieces to copy a book of just general information. It's 150 to get spells and stuff per caster level and things like that. So you could spend a lot of money here if you wanted to. And you can always talk to Khadij, and he can get you more information on specific subjects really retaining or pertaining to the Rod of Seven Parts and the Queen of Chaos and what have you.
Okay.
Can I tell the riddle to Khadij and see if he has any input on it?
Yeah. And he doesn't really understand. He's like, I mean, it could be anything. It's kind of your patron. So I feel like that's a personal quest for you.
Well, thank you for your marvelous help.
All right.
But he does give you the you know how, we'll say that you know how to reattach the rod fragments. I don't know if that was clear in the last episode or not, whether we talked about that. But you'll need a brush made from the hair of two rare and powerful lawful creatures, and they have to be good and evil. And so the Rakshasa and a Kieran are kind of like these ideal situations. And then a pigment made of diamond, iron, lead, and several other ingredients that you can buy here. And we'll say that you can buy like enough of it, or you'll find it later on if you need to. But to reattach 2 pieces is going to cost you 300 gold in pigment. So if you want to attach like parts 1 and 2, that's 300 gold. And then if you want to have 1, 2 and attach 3, that's another 300 gold.
Okay.
Right,
and it takes about 12 hours.
Oh, okay.
You can do it in less time, but there's a higher chance of failure, which you guys don't know what happens if you fail. So,
sounds like that's a bad idea.
Yeah. Basically, we'll roll percentile die when you want to actually craft it. So.
Okay. Yeah, so we should probably like buy all the ingredients while we're here and try to do that before we leave.
And I won't make you track ingredients. Like I just kind of track gold like that. So you have gold, and then we can spend gold to get that. or that's exactly what you would do. Sorry. So you have gold, and then we use gold saying that you preemptively bought the ingredients because you knew you would need them later on, kind of a thing.
Okay.
If we're in the middle of the Onorock Desert and you guys find 500 gold, I wouldn't necessarily let you use that to do it because you don't have the ingredients yet. But when you get back to town, you can like trade and sell and get stuff. So
Okay.
All right.
So I'm sorry, who was looking up what?
I don't think we decided that yet. We
Yeah,
were
I
just
don't
getting.
think we
We
decided.
were. I guess we were more confirming what we already know, so we don't need to spend time looking up things we already know.
Right.
Okay.
Um.
Well, I will look up where a Rakshasa may dwell in this area. If there's been any reports of anything like that.
Okay. We will start with you. So you go looking and you start asking a bunch of questions. People are very helpful. The books are all magically enchanted to like index and they fly off the shelves and things like that. It's very Harry Potter and fun. And there is a Rakshasa surprisingly close to where you guys are. You passed Dragonspear Castle on your way here. And it is rumored that there is a vampire cult run by a Rakshasa that are currently taking up residence in Dragonspear Castle, the ruins of.
So
As
in for
Shifter is
that.
reading it, they're just like a vampire cult run by a Rakshasa. Well, it doesn't make much sense, but it's a good lead.
What was that place called?
A Dragonspear Castle, like a spear that you stab somebody with.
All right. So let's see. I will. Yeah, I guess I'll look up anything. Kieran Sightings. That's a
Okay.
thing.
Lagwin. You learn that Kierans are very magical, celestial, huge creatures. They are very rare. They are not seen often. But they are goodness personified. But Kierans usually claim a territory and kind of watch over it. They might safeguard an area. This could be a nation. This could be a road. They kind of take it upon themselves to like safeguard areas. And there's nothing that you see geographically that's like, oh, a Kieran's been sighted here that you found. But they do ally themselves with good-natured and lawful gods. And specifically the god Ilmater, who is the god of like suffering, and their whole religion is, if I take on more suffering, then you will suffer less. So they're just constantly martyring themselves. And in the Kalimshan, there is a famous church. I had it just a second ago. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. There's a famous house of worship in Kalimshan called the House of the Broken God. And that's kind of like, might be a good lead, but Kalimshan's a long ways away in the opposite direction of where you need to go. So,
all right. Well, I've got that. Not the direction I want to go, but that's the direction that I have. So I'll let everybody know about Kalimshan, potentially the history of Kieran's, and then maybe if anybody else knows of a Ilmateri township other than Kalimshan.
Yeah, so they're often found on the sides of roads and stuff too, to help weary travelers with water and things like that. So if you guys wanted to find something more local, you could. It would just be smaller.
Yeah,
but that's like a huge like temple of Ilmater.
That makes sense.
When Shifter hears Kalimshan, and they're just like, oh my goodness, that is, the Shining Sea is just beautiful this time of year. Some of the best shopping on the whole continent. I can't listen. All I found out about with some spooky vampire cult in a dingy old castle. You, Lagwin, you outdid me this time.
Listen, I would actually have loved to read about a vampire. That's like right up my alley. I love that. Let's go kill some vampires. That sounds great.
You don't necessarily need to kill them. I mean, we just need to work with them. I think killing them would actually probably not be good for our cause.
Couldn't you just turn on your sword? Would they just turn to ash in that scenario? Is that how that works?
I'm not entirely sure, but I'm excited to find out.
Willing. We need him to be willing.
We only need the Rakshasa to be willing, not the vampires.
And yet he is the leader of their cult.
It's weird.
Or
It is
she.
They.
fair.
They. Anyone can be the leader of a vampire cult now.
I guess we're very progressive in favoring.
This is the 13th century DR.
Yeah. Anyone can lead a vampire cult.
I will research the Veil of Fear and Delusion.
Okay. Yeah, so you go researching that. It's prose. It's not something that you're finding like specifically that this is referencing this, but the more that you are researching it, it does seem to point to specifically the Onorock Desert and the elemental planes, like just this this like world within the world kind of a thing. If that doesn't make sense at all, but yeah, it's kind of very vague. But if you had to put money on it, you would probably say like Onorock Desert is where my patron is trying to send me.
Okay, cool.
Siren is going to learn as much as she can about the Onorock Desert and like maybe like find better maps about, like the southern portion of it, see if there's any information.
Yeah.
That way.
So they have a lot of information on the desert itself, and this goes back many, many centuries. There were a hyper magical race of humans called the Netheril, and they got so powerful that they cut mountains off, or they cut the tops off of mountains and then spun it around and had floating cities, and they built on top of the severed part of the mountain. So they had these floating continents that they would utilize. They built these really weird magical orbs called mythalar that were like magical batteries. So it takes a lot of time and energy and money. And back in older editions of D&D, it took your experience and your hit points to create a magical item. But these mythalar, they could create something, and as long as you were within the like magnetic field of the battery, your cheaper magical item that works just as effectively as another one would work. It just would stop working if you left the vicinity of this mythalar. They got so strong and so powerful that the magic that they were doing was hurting another race of creatures called the Ferrum, and they look like these kind of weird plant creatures with like, they look like sea sponges with teeth. I don't know, it's weird.
As soon as you started trying to describe them, I'm just like, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, no, I don't know, I'll find a picture.
They're windsocks.
They're windsocks, yeah.
Horrible windsocks.
And they are very magically inclined, and they started a war with the Netheril, but didn't really tell them. And instead they were siphoning magic and causing destruction, and that magical siphon hurt all of the vegetation in the Onorock, and so that whole area turned to desert and ash because they were draining life force to channel into their spells to attack one another. And that war lasted for a long time until our good buddy Karsus, who was an amazing wizard, he wanted to use arcane magic to ascend to godhood, and he crafted a like 12th level spell that allowed him to, or was it 10th?
10th.
That was 10th. Thank you. So he crafted a 10th level spell that allowed him to take an aspect of the goddess of magic and basically channel it into himself directly. And when he cast that, the goddess of magic lost control of the weave, and all magic stopped working for a limited amount of time. And so all of these giant floating castles that were held up in the sky by magic came crashing down into the desert. And many centuries later, the desert has washed over with sand and stuff. So the Onorock Desert is full of weird magical gizmos. It's full of these creepy Ferrum windsock with teeth. And there are also lots of residual weird magics and stuff. So it's one of the reasons that just stuff has not, like vegetation hasn't regrown, because there's just all this like hyper life-threatening magical energy there. And so people usually steer clear.
So that is the story of the Onorock Desert. Basically, it's a lot of magic fuckery and dirt.
Delightfully told, Siren.
Thank you. I have
Indeed.
been known to weave a tale or two in my time.
Well, it sounds like we have some cheery adventures ahead, if this is what we must encounter.
Yes, I guess so.
Lagwin, before we leave, do you want to research any spells?
Yes, definitely.
Ask
I'm
about
sorry.
the transportation circles and whatnot.
Yeah.
All right. Opening spell book. Stand by. So what did you say the cost was, Jordan, for spells?
I kind of just guesstimated, but I think 150 gold per spell level. So if you want a level 2 spell, it's 300 gold. If you
Gotcha.
want a level 3 spell, it's 450.
Okay.
But they have just about everything. If you want like a really high, like if you're looking for a wish, so you're just sure you have that wish later on, I might make you roll an Arcana check or a History check to try to like figure out if they actually have it or if you can find it. But for the most part, I think you guys are limited by resources, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not looking for anything game-breakingly powerful that I won't be able to cast for another 14 levels or 13 levels, whatever. So, okay. Well, this is super fun for everyone that's not a wizard.
Maybe and I are getting manicures.
Maybe
monks
we
do great
can.
manicures.
Maybe while they're doing that, we can get the ingredients and start the process to fuse the rod parts together.
If they have them here.
They do have the ingredients. You can get those, but the ingredients are useless unless you have the brush made from the hair in order to paint the runes.
300 gold, you said, for all the ingredients? All right, I'll just pay that.
And we need that twice, right? Because
right. Okay. I will
so
pay
do you want to do
both of
300
those.
and I'll do 300?
No, I got it.
All right. So generous.
Well, that's what the Zenthanum are.
Interesting.
And Vadi does come, or Vadi,
Kadij.
what is his name? Kadij, yeah. So Kadij, the Vadi. Kadij does say that they do have a teleportation circle. They do have some higher level wizards that are willing to, with that, send you other places. There is a wizard specifically who is willing to cast teleport on you guys to send you. Like if you wanted to go to Kalimshan or if you wanted to go to the Onorock Desert. The fun part of that is he has not been to either of those places.
No.
So we're going to roll to see if that is successful or not. But
maybe he's been someplace slightly closer that he knows very well.
Dude, Lex, the player, is all about.
Oh,
these
me too.
random tables.
I am 100% about it because it's.
Perhaps we don't need to go straight to the desert. Perhaps we could try to find one of these temples of Ilmata.
Yes, I do seem to remember that hand that we found on the side of the road severed in a teleportation accident. And
It's
I would like to
difficult
keep.
forget.
Yeah, I would like to keep all of my limbs intact.
I will say that the teleportation spell, and I guess wizards, you guys would probably know this researching it a little bit. It's a 7th level spell, so you can't necessarily cast this yet. But if you have an associated object, the spell is 100% effective. And we could probably say that the rod is like resonating with the other one.
Oh, sure.
So if you did want to try and do that, that would probably work.
Okay.
There is like chaos weirdness within the rods, so.
Yeah. I still want to try it, but I fully understand. Ted wants to try it. Ted just did this to his players 2 weeks ago, and it was a blast. So, I mean, I'm still looking at spells, so that's, I know, super interesting.
Why didn't you have this ready before we streamed?
Well, you didn't tell me how much gold it was last time.
Oh yeah.
Last time you had said, I think it was like you could learn 2 spells maybe, and then now it's like 150 gold per level. Go crazy. So those are different things.
Well, there you go. Well, Lex chose his spells, so as long as you got the money, I feel like you guys can do it. Because you made a good point to me the other day, Ted, that you are limited by spell slots and like how many you can actually prepare. So.
Yeah, I'm maxed out on preparation, but I could have this big fat stacked spell book of spells that I can maybe cast sometime. Okay, I'm gonna grab a couple 4th level spells.
And then I guess I didn't make this clear. So, like, let's say you want a level 2 spell that's 300 gold. You still have to do whatever to get it into your spell book. You still have to go through that process, which I think also costs gold.
It does.
So, like when you're transcribing a spell, it's you like learning how to do it, and so you waste money trying to do that. So.
Okay. All right. Well, that changes a few things. Math.
Oh, because Lex knows what this is, but I don't think Shifter would, and they would be very interested. Shifter is going to look up. They're going to remember at the giant wedding, the giant's giant wedding, the owl creatures, and how when they were all identical, and how when some of them died, they like turned to water. And I'd be like, what kind of magic was that?
I think they turned into like bubbles or something.
Snow or ice or something?
Snow.
Just so that I can make Jordan say what the spell was that she used, because I know what it was.
Yes. So you do research that, and it was the spell Simulacrum. Yeah. So the giants at some point obtained an owl, Aarakocra, and duplicated that owl many times, where the original was. And if the original was like a willing servant or a slave or gone, who knows? But his servants were all these like 1 hit point simulacrums. That was kind of fun.
Are they all like mental and like emotional copies as well? Like, are they sentient?
They're full copies. Yeah, they're sentient copies, but they follow the caster. And so that's why they were willing, and they're not like upset about that. They're just like, oh yeah, you made me, I like do what you need to do. And so they were all just these copies that run around. Very expensive spell though.
Yeah. So Shifter is just fascinated by this magic that they're looking up, and they're like, so that's how they did that. Very interesting.
Don't even think about it.
Well, I'm not powerful enough to cast it yet, but at some point I might do.
Kadij runs up to you, Rakiri, and he said, "You mentioned Kira Nor. Is that
Kira Nor?
Yeah, yes." And then he throws down a big fat book, and there is like a crude painting sketch of your patron in the book.
That must look weird because they are unknowable. Oh,
never mind then. So the name is there. We'll say that. Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like a biblical view of the angel. It's just like this. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So he's showing this, and he's like, it's like kind of details a little bit. He was working with like wanting to stop chaos, and there's a whole story here, and he's actually tied to the Queen of Chaos in some way. Did you know this?
You have a whole book on Kieran. Tied
Well,
how?
I mean, we have a book on various mythology, and like this, and he kind of takes like this little chapter here seems to be, but it's definitely referencing him, and he was rallying the celestial planes against the Queen of Chaos, but it looks like they weren't listening to him.
So Kieran was there back then when the Queen of Chaos rose up and they opposed her.
I don't remember any of the stories that I know personally, and I'm over 4,000 years old, but this book would say otherwise.
Wait, sorry, maybe I misheard you. Did you say that Kieran led forces to rise up against the Queen of Chaos or with the Queen of Chaos?
Against, yeah. It looks what he's trying to convey is that he didn't know this, but this Kieran character was trying to get celestial forces to ally with him against the Queen of Chaos. Because and as Khadij puts it, if the Queen of Chaos was able to take one realm and another, the like Mount Celestia and the upper planes would just be next. But the rest of the angels and gods were just like, that's not our problem, and they wanted to stay out of it. So
okay. Yeah, I take the book and read everything I can about Kieran.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, it's not the longest chapter, but you do get a little glimpse into his life, or their life, where they were an angel and trying to, you get the sensation that the downfall might have been doing the right thing. The angels of the upper planes and the gods and stuff didn't want to save these lowly mortals and the Vadi and what have you, and he came down, but punishment for breaking rules is very black and white.
Yeah.
And so
Interesting.
I'm sorry, did you say you were over 4,000 years old?
Oh yes.
How did you do that?
We're a race of immortals.
Oh.
It's very exciting.
Yes, that's wonderful for you. Thank you.
Did you know Kieran back then?
Oh, I know. The battle with the Queen of Chaos happened much before I was born.
And so it was already history, even in your long life.
Yes, it was a long history, and they built the rod to destroy Miska the wolf spider, and with Miska mortally wounded, they were able to trap him in a cocoon of law, and they buried him far into the plains, in a place where no one would find him.
Let's hope no one does.
Well, if I had my way, you would reassemble the rod and I think take out Miska for sure. Because if Miska can't come back, then the war is officially over. We've been in a stalemate for eons.
But if no one knows where he is, then it would be up to us to find him.
And he kind of looks around and he's just like, I think you said that the rod, it wants to be found. It's pulling you to the other sections.
Yes.
And I think when you have all 7 pieces, it will pull you towards Miska, because the blood in this rod wants to reunite with Miska. He may not be as lost as you think, because and it's possible the Queen of Chaos knows this, and if she can get the rod fragments, she can find him and release him.
Well, all the more reason to find the remaining parts.
Yes. So off you go, and he runs away.
Better go do it.
Okay, so yeah, you bought a lot of stuff there.
I
Jim.
did.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then I guess the only other thing I'd look up, because we're here in Candlekeep, when else am I going to have a chance to do so? It's just like high level Blade Singer lore.
Okay.
Just, you know, anything I can learn about it outside of what I know from being one.
I think you would, this might have to be something that I look up later, and maybe we can like work it into the story. But like they were like the magical Knight's Guard almost, and taking care of royalty and what have you, and they had these specific groups where it would be like, oh, you're part of, like, I'm making this up, but like you're part of like Wolf Clam Beta, and you're over here, you're part of like Red Snake 5, and you're the Blue Barracudas, and they all competed. But it's something similar like that. They all had like kind of like a group, or like I'm trying to think of an army term of like that, where it's like
A regiment.
like a troop or something. And they're still around. They're just kind of few and far between. And a lot of them nowadays are very isolated and doing solo, like for the good of elves and for the good of nature and things like that. But also, you can't become, and you would know this, but you can't become a blade singer unless you find one to train you.
Right.
You kind of have to like
do the thing.
teach me, and they're like, okay, wax my VW bug for a long time, and then you all of a sudden know how to use blade song magic. It's great. Catch a fly with chopsticks.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool.
Okay.
I'm good then.
Anything specific, like, I mean, so actually I'll ask you this before and then we'll take a break, but like, where do you want to go now? What's the plan of attack? Calimport, you could teleport there probably pretty safely. Onorock Desert, you could also do that. You could leave Candlekeep. And I will say you could come back if you guys want to go check out this Dragonspear Castle Rakshasa, and then come back to use the teleportation functionalities without another book, basically.
Does teleporting cost money?
I will look that up.
The bus ain't free, you know.
That's true.
No one teleports for free.
I'll say the.
But
Okay.
I kind of want to check out Dragonspear first. That's my vote.
Yeah, we're gonna say that it's so Teleportation Circle uses like 50 gold, which it consumes. But for the actual teleport spell, I'll say that it's going to cost you guys 200 gold.
Okay.
Not each, just together, because he can do all of you at the same time. So.
Okay. So we're at 250 all in.
Okay. So
Does that include the return trip?
No, it's a one-way trip. You guys have to find your own way back.
Okay.
Fun. So are we, is Rakshasa the plan? Is that what we're doing?
We have a very nice conversation with this Rakshasa and their vampire cult. We get some hair. We come back, then we have a lovely beachfront vacation. That's my plan.
And it's very important to me that you all understand we cannot kill it. I just want to make sure we're all clear on that.
The Rakshasa?
Yes.
The horrible fiend from the lower plains.
After it willingly gave us some of its hair, we could kill it after that.
Right, that was, yeah. No, correct.
We don't have to, though.
Yeah, it's too much work.
We have to go there first, so let's start there and then we'll figure out what happens after.
All right. And you'll set out in the morning, I assume. We'll say you guys have spent probably 3 days here. You've got about 7 days left. And we will take a short break while I grab a drink of water and the rest of these people think about their life choices that they've made with going after a poor Rakshasa with his vampire cult. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rod of Seven Parts over here on Nerd Immersion channel. Our friends are going to check out Dragonspear Castle. made famous from an early Chris Perkins Acquisitions Incorporated game and a module, and I believe Baldur's Gate. It's just been a popular place that a lot of things have happened. You guys got a full night's rest. You're leaving in the morning, I assume, because vampires, you don't really want to go at night, right?
I mean, right.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, what do you want to do?
That's probably fair.
Yeah. Leave just before dawn.
Yeah, were we riding there, or were we teleporting?
Or
Did we?
teleported.
Okay.
Oh, no, there's no
Oh,
teleportation circle. You could, but it's going to cost you money. And then there's a chance that there could be something going on. It's probably much safer, and it is close enough for you guys to just ride there.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's do that then.
We ride.
Or fly.
Yeah.
Or fly.
Yes. Yeah. You come across a broken just ruined fortress. And there's a really good picture of it on the wiki that I will put in our Discord chat, and you can share that with the people on the live stream. But as you approach, just like ruins and all sorts of crumbling stuff going on, and a giant skeleton of a dragon just like draped over the top part of this ruined keep. And it looks very abandoned. There are broken walls all around, but there is a main road that goes through the front area. And it's called Dragonspear Castle because the way the walls were drawn from an aerial view, it looks like the tip of a spear. And then there is an inner keep within, and within that inner keep, there are tunnels that go underground. It's a pretty dope place. I'll put another map for you guys so you can see. So as you guys approach, what would you guys like to do? You see a ruined keep in front of you. It is daytime. It's probably like noon or 1.
Well, the one thing that we know about this vampire cult is that they obviously don't care at all about their living conditions.
Are you kidding me? Look at that dragon. It's so cool.
It is pretty cool.
It's a mess. Look at the walls are falling apart. There's probably mold all throughout that place.
I don't think they care because they're dead.
Undead.
Just because you're dead doesn't mean you don't care about living, Lagwin. All right.
So how should we approach this? Stealth?
I mean, it's broad daylight.
Can I make a perception check?
Yes,
Check for anything hinky?
you can.
21.
Yes, very good. You look around because it is like midday. The sun is kind of shining directly down, and there's not a lot of shadows for things to hide. So you actually don't see going into the main gate. If you guys are going just kind of forward, there doesn't seem to be any defenses that you see. It could be that this is daytime. Vampires don't come out in the day. You do see off in the far distance at the opposite end of the castle, flying in the sky, it looks like it is a serpent, a giant snake that has 2 wings, and it's kind of gliding through the sky. Maybe like, I don't know, 700 yards or so off the opposite end of the castle, but up in the air quite a bit, and just like flying around.
What in the God's name is that?
Is it like, I mean, is it big enough that we can see it from here, or is this like a small thing?
It is, it's a medium creature. So.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Does anyone know what it is? I could fly up and take a look.
I mean, if you want to, by all means.
The siren's going.
Well, let's just keep out of its sight for now.
It does not seem to be paying attention to you guys, but you can also roll stealth checks. You might be, I mean, you haven't really announced your presence or anything either. So
Sure.
I think even though there are vampires here, Rakshasas are not immune to hurt by sunlight, yes? So we should still be stealthy.
I assume we figured at least that much out in our research in
Probably, yeah.
Candlekeep.
They're shape-changing fiends. You know that much, I guess, from Candlekeep. So.
Okay.
Okay, so do they have a consistent shape? Like, do they have a natural form, or could they be?
They do, and it is the shape of a humanoid tiger.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hey, Jordan.
Hey.
You know what happened this morning?
Okay, what happened?
I cast Nistral's Magic Aura and I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Nice.
Well-
Yeah, no, I think wait and see what the creature does. Maybe it's the Rakshasa in disguise. Who knows?
Perhaps. Shall we stealth?
Sure.
I'll certainly give it my best shot.
Built it up.
Siren vanishes. I rolled a 26.
Nice.
A 16.
I've only got a 20.
Okay.
I got a nat 20 for 22.
Ooh, nice.
I got a 16.
Oh yeah, so you're very stealthy. Walking up to the castle, you easily get through the main gate. And do you want to go? How do you gonna? You're in the courtyard. The other central courtyard is in front of you as well. The flying winged serpent creature seems to be going farther east and is flying away from this area.
Okay.
You guys can scout around out here. You can go to the inner ward. You can go further down.
I think we should go in.
Yeah,
We won't find him out here.
go in and look for any signs of like anybody like living, well, not living. I guess the Rakshasa is living there. But yeah, people like habitation, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah, nothing on this level as you like look around. You do find various goats and some cattle that have been desanguinated that are just kind of like lying around.
Gotcha.
Oh, maybe they're maybe the vampires don't like eating humanoids. That would be nice.
It would.
Or they plan that they won't get him very often, depending on how big this sect is.
And how many people actually come by this abandoned castle with
Yes.
that apparently people know that is. I don't know how widespread the knowledge of the vampire Rakshasa cult is, but I mean, if I'd heard tales of that, I wouldn't come here.
Right.
And I'll
Well,
say,
we have heard tales, and we are. Here.
yes, well, thank you again for that. Just you know what? I had a great idea, but now I'm not gonna say it. Everybody keeps shooting me down. Nope, we're done.
I want to hear your good idea.
Well, this morning I knew we'd be going to this castle, so I rearranged spells accordingly because I thought that would make sense. And if we want, I can try and investigate the facility from here without us actually heading inside it.
How so?
I can now just focus and search my feelings in the nearby area and see what's and I can see what's.
I can do it without laughing.
I can't. I can't. I tried so hard. But no, I can cast a spell that allow me to create a magical eye that I can see through, and I can move it through spaces, and it's invisible, so they can't see it coming, and I can investigate and do recon from a distance.
Perfect. Shifter, you should learn that.
Oh.
What is the name of this spell?
Arcane Eye.
Arcane Eye.
So you create an invisible magical eye within range that hovers in the air for the duration, which is an hour. You receive visual information from the eye, which has normal vision and dark vision up to 30 feet. It can see 360 degrees. As an action, you can move it 30 feet in any direction. It has no limit to how far you can move the eye from you. You can't look into another plane of existence. Solid barrier blocks it, but it can move through any opening as small as 1 inch in diameter.
Cool.
Sweet.
So I can, if we find a passage down or a doorway that has a 1 inch gap, I can just send it through and just I mean, it can move 30 feet every 6 seconds, and we have it for an hour, so I can just try to...
Okay.
It's my
And
only
it is
fourth
invisible,
level.
but like if they have see invisibility,
Yeah, it says an invisible magical eye, so I would imagine if you have a means of seeing that, you'll see like a scrying eyeball, like you would see if you were casting scrying or something like that. Also funny that the material component is a bit of bat fur. Just thought that was interesting, considering we're looking for vampires, and I have a pet bat, so it all works out.
I was about to say you have a pet bat, so.
Get some scissors out.
But yeah, I mean, it is my only 4th level spell slot, but if we need to do recon, this is probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
So if that's what we want
to... I could potentially gaze of 2 minds with your bat.
That's true.
If you want to save the spell slot.
We could do that too. I'll leave that up to the party.
Can't you see through your bat's eyes too?
For a little while, but then it goes away. Not for very far though. I think it's like 100 feet.
Well,
I think we should encourage Lagwin's creativity.
Okay.
All right. Well then, do we see an area that looks like it kind of like an entrance or something that looks like it might, like not the outer courtyard?
Yes. So on the inner ward, basically and if you look at the map that I sent you, like the road that goes through the Great Gate, which is to the outer ward, keeps going to that inner ward. And then there is a big, and the dragon skeleton is just draped over this inner ward spire.
So cool.
The Dragonspear Keep is the center of the entire area, and that has broken down doors on the front that are crumbling, and further in it's very dark, but there are like passages that go down to the underground levels. Okay.
All right. Then that's where I want to be, like, to optimize the most out of this spell. Then I'll get over there, and
and I guess, I mean, you're just going to keep going until you see something, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, realistically, unless I get the feeling that something is like really freaked out about it, I'm gonna take the hour and just like scour as much as I can get, and just try to map this, mentally map out this whole thing.
Okay.
As much as I can.
This is very good. I'm trying to see what my monsters, if they would make themselves known or not. Not that there's monsters down there. So,
no, not at all.
Not at all.
What?
If they're invisible or anything like that, it's just normal and regular dark vision. It is only 30 feet for the eye, so it's not like if they're up in a ceiling or something and it's outside of the vision, it wouldn't see it.
Yeah, you do see. So it goes down and it loops through quarters. There's a couple areas that are very like broken down and not working. But the closer you go and the farther in you go, there's a path that people have been treading, or humanoids, I should say. There's like footprints and stuff. And you do find in the side of these walls, there are carved out little sleeping quarters or places to put bodies. And you do find that there are 3 probably vampires stacked up on top of each other. So like, little like chunk of a wall and then another chunk and another chunk, and they're
almost like a mausoleum
kind of mausoleum kind of thing. Yeah, but they're sleeping in those. And so you find 3 there, and then directly in front of you is a large door that is very well maintained for how the rest of the area is not maintained.
And since it doesn't, I imagine I'll just be like kind of sitting in like a meditation sort of pose, and I'll just
go through walls though, correct?
No, it can't go through walls, but if there's a 1-inch gap, like a keyhole or a space under the door, it can go through that. So I'll just be, essentially eyes closed, just meditating on this and just reiterating everything to you all that I can see, that the eye sees, certain areas broken down, the vampires, the door.
How well are they dressed? Are they dressed poorly?
They are dressed poorly. Yeah.
They're dressed poorly.
Kind of wearing rags and stuff.
They live in squalor.
That's a shame.
Well, there's a very well maintained.
We stand a sexy vampire.
No stats here.
No. Is there a spot where I can push the eye under this door or something like that? No, it's
so there's no keyhole.
okay.
It's a like an orange wood, like a night, and then it's got like a gold trim, and it's just sealed very shut, but there's no keyhole.
Okay.
It has two large handles that you would pull, but
okay.
And then the bottom is also very tightly sealed. So
okay, so I will tell you all that, and then I'll just double back the eye, and again, just as much as I'm able to,
you go down
discern.
some other corridors, I'll say, and like there are more vampires sleeping here and there. Like this isn't just like, but like I mean I gave you the places of interest.
Sure. Okay.
But there are like some other actions, and we'll say there's probably on a total of like, including the 3 you saw, like 7 more vampires that are just kind of, but they're all sleeping because it's daytime. So
okay.
Okay.
All right. So I will do that, and then eventually the spell will end as I gather as much information as I can. I will have reiterated all of that to all of you as best I could. Then, because I've never used this cantrip, and I think it would be really cool to do it, I will use Mold Earth to try to create, like, because I can make shapes and patterns and, like, try to make a 3D model of what I think the inside of this thing looks like to show you guys. Like, here's
like in X-Men 2 with the X-Wing?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then just be like, all right, so this is where the door is, and just to give everybody a quick, dirty layout of this place.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty dope.
So,
you should have done this one too, Shifter.
Lagwin has no poker face, so he's just smug as all hell right now. Like, he can't lie about it. He's awful at it. So anyways, like, well, now we know. I'm gonna guess that that door was way better kept and designed and perfectly sealed. So I'm gonna assume that the Rakshasa is beyond that door.
And how many vampires do we need to sneak past to get to it?
Just 3 that I saw, right? Was it just the 3?
It was just the 3 that you saw. There's 10 total.
10 total, but those 3 right there.
But they were like farther down in other corridors. But the 3 that you saw are like pretty much like there's the 3 and they're in the alcoves, and then maybe 10 feet and then the door. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
So we need to be quiet. There's 3 in the immediate vicinity of that door, but if we make a lot of noise, we may call them from other areas. And it seems, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jordan, that it's relatively dark in there, so we won't have to worry about. They don't have to worry about the sunlight coming in that location. So it's not like we're gonna have that as a backup plan. Other than me literally generating sunlight from a sword, but just that.
Yes, well. We will need to be careful. Why don't I go in first and unlock the door, or see if it is unlocked, and you follow behind as quietly as possible, please.
Fair enough.
All right. I'm going to go.
You're going to go. I guess you all get to that area before the vampires and you're well without reach. Go ahead and roll stealth. Siren.
18.
18. Okay. I'm reading about interesting things about vampires. Okay. You sneak past them. You go to the door in question. What would you like to do?
I would like to try the handle.
It is very tightly locked.
Okay. I would like to try and pick this lock.
There's no lock to pick. There's no keyhole.
Wizards. How is it? Door knowledge. How is it sealed? Is the lock on the other side, or seems to be a magical seal?
I'm gonna say you don't know.
Okay. Right.
But from what you see, it's just 2 doors that are sealed, and then they're not budging. Yeah,
but
they open outward to you.
Okay.
So.
They do have handles, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm going to wait. I might have something for this. Hold on. I've gotten a lot of trinkets.
That's true. There are several of those.
I got a lock. Yeah.
I know. We'll lock them in. That's what we'll do. Just put a lock on the other side. You gotta give us one of your hairs if you want to come out of your house.
I know, right? No, I don't have something for this. So I'm gonna sneak back to the group. Language.
Yes.
You didn't say there wasn't a lock on it.
I mean, you said there was a door with 2 handles, and I couldn't see through it.
Do either one of you have a spell to open this?
Do we still have the C4?
We do.
That would most certainly wake up all of the vampires.
Yes.
It's daytime.
Not
well, they'll be
It is very
groggy,
dark where
but,
you currently are. But
well,
it is daytime.
I do want to point out that I was all for murdering vampires left and right, and you're like, no, we need to do this willingly, so let's blow up his door. Just want to point that out.
I think it's a lesser evil than killing his worshippers.
I feel like that already puts us in a disadvantaged state if we're going to have this conversation. Hey, will you please give us one of your hairs? Sorry, we totally obliterated your very nice orange wood door with gold trim.
What if we just knock?
I mean, it'll probably wake up the vampires. I mean, it might just have a bar on the other side of the door, if that's why it's not opening.
Does anyone have any teleportation magics?
I did, but I used my 4th level slot.
Dang.
Remember when I was like, I can do this at will.
I mean, I can take a rest for an hour and get it back.
Yeah, because I have Misty Step, but I need to be able to see where
we're going.
Yeah. Well, we're here in peace. We're not trying to harm anyone. Do we know enough about vampires to know if they will just attack on sight? They're intelligent, yes?
Yes. I can perhaps try to dispel the magic around the door, see if that works.
Can you do that from here?
Why don't you, before you do that, can you check to see if it's magical?
Yes, I certainly can, because I can also detect magic.
Okay, make a stealth check for Kiri, because you're going to get close to the vampires in order to see the door and have your detect magic actually work. Because I think it's like a 60 foot with detect
It's
magic.
30.
30.
Yeah, so you have to get pretty close.
Okay.
To the vampire.
Ooh. 19. Wow, I'm rolling really well.
You're rolling really well. So you get close enough. You look at the door. It is magical. There's some, what is it? The School of Magic eludes me, but it is magical, locked. It might be an arcane lock for all you know.
Okay. So the range on this is 120 feet. So if I was within 30 feet, I'm good. So I have to make an ability check using my spellcasting ability. The DC is 10 plus the spell's level.
Well, that assumes that the spell is above 3rd level.
Yeah.
If it's 3rd level or below, it just works.
Right.
Yeah, true.
And it works! This level. Oh, the thrilling excitement of this game, ladies and gentlemen. We had a library, and now we're here. No, it does. So you cast Dispel Magic, and the door like gets dingy almost. Like it wasn't glowing, but it was almost like bright, and then it kind of gets darker in shade, and then you see it just like creak open ever so slightly. Very, very noisily too. Noisily, I say, as if you pull it open further, it might make more creaking noises that could wake up your vampire friends.
Can we try to like shimmy through?
Yes, you would like to get closer. Make I don't know, should we do a stealth or an acrobatics check? Let's do an acrobatics check, because you're already quiet with your stealth, but if you shimmy incorrectly, you'll make the door noise.
Okay.
Is she going in ahead of us?
Apparently she cast a spell and she's walking in by herself.
And we're like
thought
farther
we were
back.
all
We're like,
going.
wait, no, don't go.
No, I'll go with her. I'll attempt
We
to.
are going.
I'll sneak ahead.
If you're all walking up, make sneak checks.
Yep.
Or Kiri, make an acrobatics check.
Oh, no.
Oh, you do have 2 charges.
Another 18.
2 charges, Rakiri.
Okay, so it was a crit fail.
Well,
So are you going to use your charge of your thing to reroll?
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Let's not fight vampires. Sneak by him instead. This all could have been over.
Yes, please do.
Okay. I'm gonna reroll
As
this.
much as
Okay.
I'd love to bullshit my way through this.
I mean, it's still bad. It's an 8.
Better than a crit fail, I guess, in theory.
Oh, thank you, Doublebrook.
As a wonderful DM, I didn't have my dice ready, so
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna go get some of those.
I literally just got mine out. But I've been rolling on D&D Beyond.
There you go.
Where it's never been easier.
Yes.
We're not going to promote them anymore. I thought, didn't we decide that?
Yeah, we did, but we'll see. They don't have any more slots for sponsorship at the moment.
What is your stealth checks?
18.
21.
18? Sorry, what'd you get, Ted?
21.
21?
17.
17?
So
Rakiri.
my stealth check had been a 19, but then my acrobatics check was an 8.
Right. And you didn't have to re-roll the stealth because we were using your last one, but it was fine. So the acrobatics, you failed, and you get about halfway through, and you see your friends, and it's one of those. I don't know. I imagine Rakiri getting excited, like, "Oh, we're doing this" or something, and like you jostle the door, and it comes creaking open, and you see 3 vampire heads pop out of the. I'm really bad with words today. I apologize, guys. But they're in the mausoleum area, and they pop their heads out just as our 3 friends are sneaking past, and they get very hungry looks on their face. And we're gonna roll some initiative.
Great.
Am I like stuck? in
You're
the
not
door?
stuck. You are in between the doors, though. So yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I'll come back out on the other side that I started from to rejoin the group. I won't go ahead and shut the door behind me.
Okay. Siren, what is your initiative?
22.
Nice. Lagwin.
22.
Shifter.
I rolled a nat 20, which means I have a 23 in your face.
I rolled a nat 22. We're wasting them.
I know we are wasting them.
How do you have a +2 to your dex, Siren?
I'm a rogue.
So yeah, when you have more,
I don't. That's my
Are you-
highest stat, guys. Okay, I'm
You
sorry.
I thought you said you rolled a nat 20 though,
I did.
and you're a nat 20 +2.
Yes.
Do you have the right character sheet open?
LB, you didn't min-max nearly enough for this game. I don't think
I don't know how to do that. Okay.
Oh, good times.
The wizard has a higher dex than you. Oh, nice.
I have
I have 2 15s. That's all I got. Okay.
Rakiri, what's going on? What's your initiative?
21.
21. Oh my gosh.
Damn.
No.
Easy.
This is
we just
fantastic.
run past the vampires. We're all fast enough.
Surprise to no one.
Seriously.
Shifter, what do you want to do?
Oh wow, Shifter's gonna be like, should we just run past the vampires? I think we're all fast enough. But no, they're just gonna be like.
I mean, we
just-
could try to like run through the door and see if it seals shut behind us again.
That they're gonna say to the vampires, listen, this isn't I understand you're hungry. We just want to make a business transaction with your boss. That's all we're here to do. We really don't want to fight you. Can I make like a persuasion roll as my action or something?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
I will say that they all have red eyes and their fangs are like, and they're like, it's going to be a difficult persuasion roll,
yeah,
but
it's
you
not
can
gonna-
definitely do this.
I gotta try. Oh, I rolled pretty well. I got a total of a 19. Man, we're all rolling real well today.
Except for my crit fail when it was actually crucial.
Yeah, I rolled a natural 1. So they seem less threatening, we'll say that. They're not necessary, and I don't know if the rest of you are noticing this. You probably are, but like we'll say that they are definitely listening to you, and you think you can get maybe a dialogue going. but will still be in initiative at the moment. You do hear, I'll give you this. You do hear one of them say, yes, take them to the master. And then Lagwin, it is your turn.
Could light up your sword just to like be threatening, I guess.
I mean,
No, they're coming onto our side.
Yeah, it's threatening, but it's also, I feel like, in this scenario, a serious act of aggression.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's an escalation.
Like, let's have a conversation. Let me literally do something that burns your skin in, like, as long as it's here. I'm going to take the dodge action as my action.
Okay. Are you guys moving closer to the door, or are you staying?
Yes. I am.
If Shifter was, then I will be 2
Okay.
while taking the dodge action.
Okay. And because Lagwin has a higher dex than Siren, because she's the lowest dex for a rogue, you're next, Siren. What would you like to do?
Love playing games with you. All right. Siren will give them a very broad smile and say, oh, yes, no, that'd be wonderful. Is it this way? As she's moving towards the door.
And then last but not least,
they-
they're following you guys, but
Okay.
they rolled a 9, so their
Yeah,
initiative is at the very end. But they're all climbing out of their alcoves and kind of looking at you. Rakiri, you're in the door. What would you like to do?
How lovely of you to host us here in this glorious castle. I will be continuing through the door to the master. Thank you.
And
I love it. Beautiful.
you walk through the door. There is a large coffin on a stone pedestal. So it's kind of like a dirt floor. And then there's like stone and then stone again. And it comes up and there's like a coffin on top. And an archway in the back that leads further into this corridor that is dark.
Shifter mumbles something about we might as well be in a root cellar under their breath when they see the dirt floor.
The vampires are walking towards you guys, not threateningly, but they are like funneling you into that room. And as you guys are all funneled into that room, the last vampire grabs the door and says, like, yes, give them to the master, and like shuts the door. And it doesn't like magically seal, because Rakiri, you have your magic and you can look at it. It's not that, but it is held shut. So you don't feel super threatened. And at that moment, the lid of the coffin in front of you flies off, and this like super devilishly handsome, slick back black hair, cape, like full on Strahd Dracula looking guy comes like just straight up like this, and he goes, "Blah! Fear me, for I am a vampire."
Listen, we know you're a Rakshasa in disguise. We just need to barter with you. We came a long way.
You know, darling, if you, I appreciate the presence and the effort. However, if you are to be a vampire, they don't usually say blah. At least in my experience, yes.
I mean, the ones in the hall didn't even do that.
Yeah, but you look great. I really like this look.
No, the medallion, it's fantastic. The cape with the red lining, I love it. The cowl, oh.
I tried hard. I mean,
I do find
I'm
this
not even
form
like slightly
quite appealing.
scared. Like, I'm not slightly scary at all. You guys aren't.
Well,
Well,
we knew what we were walking into.
Yeah, no, I
Of
mean, I'm sure
course.
if we didn't, we would have been terrified.
Yes, apologies.
If I had this whole setup where I would like come out of the coffin and I'd be like, whoa, and like, you know, and it was this funny thing.
Oh, try a hiss.
Okay. Pretend like you just walked in, and he like
Alright,
walks
alright.
back in. The coffin slides back over, and like, and then it lifts up and it goes, and it like releases steam, and then he like kicks it out and like jumps forward. Blah. I mean,
Oh, much better. Oh,
thank you. Yeah.
Chills.
sorry, I'm quaking in my boots slightly.
It's excellent. I'll get there eventually. And he like snaps his fingers, and this like illusion disguise that he's wearing goes away, and he looks like a large tiger in some very elegant robes. Why are you here? If you're not you're not killing my vampires, you're clearly, I mean, flattery is everything, and I appreciate your help, but what?
Look, we have a magical ritual we need to perform. One of the ingredients is some Rakshasa fur. So we're just wondering, what would you like?
Do you need a
We're here to
haircut?
barter. Yes, that's all.
He's like stroking his mane and stuff. He's like, I'm rather attached to my fur, pun intended.
Listen, we heard stories of all sorts of different Rakshasas, but we heard you had the best mane of all of them. So we just figured we'd come here.
The best mane. And so what's my name if I'm so well known?
We didn't know your name. Of course, names are very important. And it was not written in the book that we had read. However...
They dare not speak it.
Yes, you're so feared.
I told them 1,000 times to get the name right. You can't be a scary vampire lord if you don't get the name right. And he's like really upset.
Well, what is it? Perhaps we can spread the word.
Oh, I'm workshopping it, okay? Right? I mean, how does this sound? Nadir.
Ooh, yes. See, the hiss is working for you.
I might add just add Count in front.
Ooh, yeah. I like what you're Count Nadir. I mean, it's not like Vlad the Impaler. I mean, there's so many. All the good ones are taken.
Obviously, yes.
It's so hard. It's so hard what I do with my life.
Really, though, Count Nadir's right up there.
Yes, it does.
Plus,
Right.
it even rhymes with fear.
Ooh, yes.
Ooh.
Think
Fear.
of the
Bring
songs
around
they will
Nadir.
sing.
Count Nadir,
I like
bringer
that.
of fear.
This is good. This is good. Are you guys available for Zoom meetings, and maybe we can like workshop some more later on?
Well, we have a consulting fee. It's hourly, but I'm sure we could work something.
Actually,
all right.
Yep.
Let's see. A bit of my hair, but I just don't see that happening. I don't think I want to help with any crazy rituals.
Well, we're not asking you to just hand it over for free. I mean, we'd love that, but
so like payment, like you guys would help me out with a little problem that I'm having.
Are you having a problem?
Oh, there is a problem.
Is it that flying thing that was above your castle?
Saw it, didn't you?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
It needs to be destroyed. Has to be taken out immediately.
What is it?
Bring me the head of that coatl, and I'll give you a tuft of my chinny chin chin here.
Was the coatl the sock thing?
No, that's a fair.
No, this is that flying
Right, okay, sorry.
situation.
Flying snake. Yeah. So Shifter's like, turns to everyone else. Sounds perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
I mean, he's constantly flying in, causing trouble. He took out a whole bunch of vampires.
So problematic.
He's not
Pests.
allowing the business to grow, so to speak.
Right.
Right.
And we've got grand plans for this place, but if we can't build and reconstruct and get various things working,
right.
Sure.
Perhaps we should draw up a contract.
I do like contracts.
Mm-hmm.
I might have a friend that can help us with that.
A friend?
Stuart. You see from back behind, there's a little imp comes flying in, and he's got like a quill in one hand and a thing in the other. And he's like, contract. He's like, oh, he heard you guys. He gets really excited about contracts. So verbal agreement, and of course we'll get it in writing, and then we'll have you all sign. But verbal agreement, you go and kill the coatl, chop off its head, no questions asked, bring it back here. Don't talk to it. Just do the deed. And then when I can see that it's dead and I have its head and we're good, that is when payment will be delivered of this. And he like plucks out some like more than enough hair that you guys need.
Okay.
And he hands it to the imp, and the imp takes it and does one of these like hand tricks where it just disappears. And so he's like, safe, very safe. And it starts writing very, very quickly. Quaddle had about must be the one harassing us. No other.
Would permanently relocating it far away be sufficient?
But that's not death. It's what I requested. So
Right, I'm just asking.
I mean, if you were buying a horse and they were like, oh, well, we could take the horse and put it somewhere safe and send you photos of it so you could see how happy it is. That's not what I want. I need a horse to ride. Case in turn, I need a quaddle. And I need that quaddle. I need its head.
Dead then. It's head.
Very dead.
What we sometimes we get a little overzealous when we fight creatures. There can be explosions, lots of burning, things like that.
Oh, well, we don't want to fight. If you guys need to leave.
No.
I'll
I
keep my
just
hair.
mean that when we're after the quaddle, there
Uh-huh.
may be a scenario in which the head is too disfigured. Might I add a clause of perhaps another body part, some wings, a piece of tail, something else to confirm death?
Oh, well, no, it's got to be the head. So if you guys need to, I don't know how like head crazy you are when you go attacking things, but literally attack any other part of it and then, slice off the head and bring it to me. Looks like a giant snake, feathered. Really, really, really beautiful.
Most gracious host.
Oh, yes.
Is there a particular reason why you need the head specifically?
I mean, yeah, but you don't need to know that. It's not part of the deal. So it's Rakshasa hair for your ritual and a head for me.
It sounds great to me.
I mean, this is a win-win situation for both of us. So contract all done. And he walks it up to you and he's sign, and he like pushes it in your face.
I feel like this is a character from a video game, and I'm not. I would like to read over the contract in excruciating detail, please.
Make an investigation check.
Okie dokie. +4, that is 19.
19, yeah, so pretty good. There's a couple of like loose things in here that you point out to the Rakshasa, and he's just kind of like, and he, the devil goes in or the imp goes in and changes a bunch of stuff. Nothing that would have like, you would lost your soul, but you might have been more in debt, etc., for every hair that he gave you rather than the tuft of hair. And so you did catch a few things here and there.
Right.
It seems pretty sound right now.
So let me ask you, what would I know about quaddles before? Ted knows a lot, but what does Lagwin know?
Ted knows a lot. Let's ask I don't know. Let's ask the dice. First of all, can you make a case for Lagwin to know about these? Like, would he have studied these creatures in any way?
I mean, not specifically. I don't see any particular reason why he would, other than the existence of, just general knowledge. Nothing.
Okay.
I wouldn't say there's any reason why.
Then I will allow you to make probably a history or an arcane check.
Okay, those are exactly the same for me. So here we go, dice. That is a 15.
15. You know that they are celestial beings. They are lawful good. They are what's the word? Caretakers, I guess. They kind of like watch over and protect things. But they are very good, awesome, divine beings. So killing one is not the best thing for you.
No, I
morally
agree.
But getting the hair is really great.
No, that all understood. Would have been great if we didn't specifically go straight to a contract, but that's where we're at now.
He runs it right into you. Sign.
Yeah. I'll say, might I have just a moment to discuss with my associates before we all officially sign ourselves to this deal? Is that all right?
Yes, I suppose so. Would you? I mean, You can either wait out there with the vampires, or you want to go to the corner.
Just over this, fine.
Don't touch my rocks, please. Thank you. I have them where I like them. And it is just dirty and like pillars falling down.
All right. Sure. And I'll just say, I just want to make it known, in case anyone was unaware, that Coatl is a holy, lawful, good celestial being that is a caretaker of all. It is a really great thing that takes care of creatures. That's very good, and we are signing ourselves up to kill it. Also, I do want to point out that as a celestial being, it might be able to give us a hookup to where Kieran is, possibly, as well. So, something to consider before we just go and behead one. Just wanted to make that known.
I was hoping that we might have this conversation not with Rakiri, but that's fine.
Why not with me?
Because what you don't know can't hurt you. All right, I'm fine with this. Is anyone else having an issue?
Yes, a major issue.
This is why.
Oh.
I mean, he's a lawful evil creature. What did you expect? Sorry, that's not. He's an evil creature. I mean, the thing that is bothering him isn't going to be some sort of other evil creature.
But he seemed nice. I didn't think he would do this.
I seem nice too.
You are nice.
Shifter laughs.
Deep down.
I mean, that's why I was afraid of something like this. That's why I tried to have that clause written in. Maybe we could have faked it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But too smart for me.
Well, perhaps we can talk to it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if we tell it the situation, it will voluntarily give itself up to help us.
What if we talk to it and get the information we need from it and then kill it?
Would be quite frugal.
We could try my way and not kill it.
We could, without telling him what we're doing first. Because he can just fly away, and then we are kind of fucked.
We're agreed that we should talk to it.
Agreed, although the Rakshasa did just tell us, don't talk to it, just kill it.
That wasn't
But it wasn't in the
But
contract.
that's not in the contract, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do we have anything else that could be tantalizing enough to this Rakshasa? Because I don't think we do. But if anyone has any suggestions.
I could open up trade with it, but I don't know if that's going to be very effective. Ooh! We could send our enemies here. Sorry.
For what
later.
reason?
For them to eat them.
Eaten?
Right. No, I meant the sense that if we have people, we can just like ferry them here for food, and in exchange we could get other things. Not part of this deal. Just thinking ahead.
Right. Well, I don't know. I don't have any other great ideas of how to get around this scenario, but I don't know. Perhaps if we talk to it,
the imp. He has the.
That's the contract.
I don't think that would void the contract.
Well,
though I would still enjoy killing him.
I mean, I guess we could talk to it and see. Perhaps, I don't know. Maybe we can. I don't know. We can try it Rakiri's way and see if we talk to it. Perhaps again, maybe it will give itself over willingly and say, if you. I'll give you my head if you kill the Rakshasa, and we just do things slightly out of order.
I mean, it is a creature destined to help. So if perhaps it understands the larger situation at hand.
Yes, what is the most selfless way to help someone than to lay down your own life?
It's true.
I mean...
I appreciate your enthusiasm, and I wish that I had your vigor, however. I'm in the mindset that that's not going to work. You are welcome to try it.
Well, perhaps let's at least talk to it first and see what... I mean, we agree that the Rakshasa is going to do something weird with the head. Like,
yes, it probably will be, I mean, also likes rocks, so maybe he's just gonna hang it on the wall. But it could also be for some greater ritual that will put the realms in greater danger in the first place. So we might just be making more trouble for ourselves down the road.
One world-ending thing at a time. Savior.
Shifter's gonna take out their crystal pen that writes in green ink. Trinkets, everybody. I'm gonna sign the contract with that. It's gonna look so fancy.
Yeah, I will sign mine with
Does
my...
it sorry, does it like disappear or something? Are you trying to be sneaky, or is this
No.
just green ink?
No,
It's
Okay.
just crystal pen that writes in green ink.
No, I was like, because you have something else where if you write with on the paper that it disappears.
No,
or
I
something,
gave
so-
that to the priests of Gond to take all their notes. So
Oh,
all their
that's
notes are
right.
on
Thank you.
special parchment that if I say a command word, it will erase.
That's right. Okay. Yes, you sign it, and no one else sees the name that you sign, your secret special name.
Oh,
but
that's true.
what-
Yeah, I
what
can't
is
reveal
it?
that to anyone.
Yeah.
I can't tell you. It's a secret. I
So
could
he
probably
signs
sign it.
last? Or
So
they
no,
sign
he
last?
signs first, but the imp flies it over to you, and it's like a weird.
Wingdings.
It's like the TARDIS. You can't look at it. You're just like
Oh,
wingdings.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Siren will sign it as
All right.
Siren.
Book, smiley face. I don't get it. I don't.
Hugs and kisses.
Yeah, right. It's,
Horizon.
yeah. No, I'll sign it too.
Okay. And then Rikiri.
Take it away.
The
Corruption.
Rakshasa turns to Rikiri and says, "No, sing!" And your voice comes up out of your throat. And no, I'm kidding. The Rakshasa also signs. The imp takes it, and he's like, "Yes, contract!" And then just like poofs away in a bunch of smoke. And he's like, "We are in agreement. Simply do the deed. Please don't talk to him. He fill you a head full of lies and terrible things. And we shall be waiting. You now have safe passage through here, but they do like to follow and make sure that you are safely walking through our castle."
Do they know that you're not a vampire?
A Rakshasa never tells. And then he goes like this, and he looks back to being a vampire again.
Is there a back entrance, darling?
Oh no, you must no.
Just back out
Out
the
the way you
front and
came. Go,
around.
go.
All right. Well, we shall see you within, however long it takes.
All right. And that's probably a really good spot to end, as our friends have made a really terrible choice. Maybe, who knows? Gonna go visit. But those are the tough choices we like here over at Nerd Immersion on Rod of Seven Parts. So thank you guys so much for joining us, for watching us live at 8:30 Eastern on twitch.tv/Nerd Immersion, or watching us on YouTube, or listening on Patreon. On my Patreon, you can listen to this as a podcast if you do enjoy the experience in podcast form. Let's meet our wonderful players, and then Lex, who are you? What's going on?
Wow, I'm Lex. You can find me on Twitter at Dank Dungeons. I do all sorts of different things. I write stuff. I do. I have show things. There's so many things. You can find links to all of those things by going to my pinned tweet, and it's all listed out there for you. Lately, I've been doing some generative tables, some subclasses. All that stuff can be found for free to download on my Patreon. So I guess it's not free because you're paying for whatever. Anyway, check it out. It's cool.
Brenna, you're always doing interesting things. What's going on in the world down
Hi, I'm
under?
Brenna. You can find me on Twitter at Brenna Noonan. One cool thing I'm doing, I have a Kickstarter campaign coming up this coming Tuesday, June 2nd, for a program called Roll, which is like a new virtual tabletop RPG play space, marketplace, all kinds of cool things. Please check that out on Twitter. You can find us at Roll App, ROLEAPP, or online at playroll.com.
I'm excited for that. It's gonna be fun. And LB Hack 'em Up.
Hi, I'm LB Hackemup, and this is Ruse. They're getting so big.
Oh my gosh, big cat.
Yes. Tomorrow you can catch me on my own channel on twitch.tv/LB Hackemup, where I'm going to be finishing up, I think, Layers of Fear 2 with Lauren. I have a lot of funny gifts from the last couple episodes where I'm just freaked out. So yeah, there's that. I'm doing a lot of things. Encounter Roleplay on Friday, G-Game Nights on Sunday, Indoor Adventure Sunday, Monday, Tuesday back on my channel playing Overwatch maybe? I don't know. And then here on Wednesdays. So I have Saturdays off. I'm not crazy.
Very busy. It's awesome. And yeah, you might have had the wrong character sheet open, so we should double check that. Then my name is Jordan with the silent PH in the middle. I am your friendly DM, and we're very happy to have such wonderful players and also to have such a wonderful channel to be on. So thank you again, Ted, for hosting us on Nerd Immersion. I run a YouTube channel where you can go and check out all things D&D lore and various other videos that I've made. Go subscribe, go check them out. I have lots of fun stuff there. I do a podcast called the Saturday Morning D&D Show where we talk about all things D&D. And we're gonna have lots of stuff to talk about, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, because Theros will be out and it'll be fun to talk about. And I have a Patreon. Like I said, if you're interested in this podcast or you like supporting me and the things I do, it would be really cool if you checked it out. I've got this podcast and some earlier stuff I did with other game systems like Kids on Bikes and Dungeon Crawl Classics and D&D. Also, the last 2 weeks in a row, I have not been able to do the game prep for this show. And I have a lot of people messaging me and they're like, where are you doing it? What's going on? So for those listening, I am still going to be doing the game prep. It's going to be on Twitch, twitch.tv/Jordan with a PH in the middle. So find that and friend me, or not friend me, follow me or whatever it is. If you follow my Twitter, you'll see tweets about it. But that is Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. And I've had a very crazy last 2 weeks. And I have not been able to do this. And they're all nodding their heads because they know what's going on. And it's only going to get busier. But my goal is to do that because it's really fun for me to get ideas. And actually, this Rakshasa vampire cult came from workshopping it with the people that were watching. And it was really fun experience to have people who are interested in the show actually be able to affect the show and stuff. So, it's really cool
real
stuff.
Quick, Jordan, what 9 a.m. in what time zone?
9 a.m. Pacific. Thank you. Yes, 9 a.m. Pacific on Twitch. I was on YouTube, but streaming live on YouTube is not good. So we're going to do it on
the
Twitch.
worst.
Numbers are bad. People don't like it when you stream on YouTube. It's weird.
It's the worst latency I've ever seen.
It is. There's really bad latency too.
Even on ultra low latency, the delay is still like 10 seconds. It's insane.
So yeah, I really love this show. I really love this game. It's a lot of fun. These people are awesome. And then last but not least, Mr. Ted himself with a trimmed beard. I thought we were quarantine beard friends and we were going to just grow it until the quarantine was over in 4 years. And
I mean,
now,
it'll be back to where it was like a week. It'll be fine.
Days.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for having us. Take us out. What's going on?
So my name's Ted. This is my channel. I do stream on here every couple of days, every Tuesday and Wednesday. Obviously, we're here on Wednesday. I run a YouTube channel where I try to make daily D&D videos. So far, pretty much had that going since the start of quarantine. And with Theros coming out next week, I'll be no shortage of content. So that's cool. I've got some fun videos. I filmed out framing out my new door that I'm going to be making over here. So if you want to see D&D and woodworking, that'll be coming to YouTube soon. I'm also going to do just a quick once-over because these books exist in physical form now, which is the best thing ever. Monster Manual Expanded. Fantastic books. I had these PDFs when they came out years ago, and DM's Guild Finding was like, hey, these really thick monster tomes, like, compared to the Monster Manual. They're like, man, it'd be really cool if you could print these rather than, buying them in print rather than having to try to print out the PDFs. So that's cool. I'll be doing a kind of unboxing, if you will, of those two books. Yeah, and more D&D content to come. I'm always getting new ideas. People are suggesting stuff. You can join my Discord. There's links and stuff below. That's a great way to get a hold of me and throw out ideas for new streams and new content and all that good stuff. So we're going to jump over and raid the Venture Maiden stream. I saw everybody's messages about it, so thank you. I'm going to go do that. And we will see you all next week. Good night, everyone.
Bye.